Before we get started, if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let us explain.
Anchor has the tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast straight from your phone or computer.
When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more.
It is everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
And best of all, Anchor is totally free.
Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Once again, your boy Link. Give me a second. Okay, yes. It's your boy Link, and I'm here to talk to you guys about searching for MacGuffin on our social medias. Follow us there, S4M at Instagram, S4M Podcast, Twitter, and Facebook as well. Also on Instagram, we do polls and guys, I'm so bad. I'm sorry. I ate something 3 hours ago and it's just not going well, but I can't hold it. But I'm legally contracted to do this. But anyways, back to Instagram. You can follow us. You can follow us on S4M, but you can also, engage on the polls and the questions we have for you. We have different questions weekly and polls. It's a great way to interact with us. It's a great way to let us know what you like. And we also have questions there where we ask you, hey, what do you want us to talk about? Because we care about you. So yeah, let us know there. And also, if you can help contribute to our cause, we need a toilet in the studios because you never know when you're going to get chronic diarrhea again. Okay, have a good day. Love you.
Welcome back to another episode of Searching for MacGuffin with your hosts,
George.
Dan.
Gabe.
And Link-chan. Oh, this is me, right?
That's
Yeah.
your part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's your
My
cue.
bad.
Cue. Yeah.
My bad, guys. So this episode is titled Attack on Anime Final Season Part 3. This is our second episode on talking about anime.
Wait, what was it called? Part 3 then?
Because there is a show called Attack on Titan where...
Oh, I thought you were going to talk around it and not give me a straight
Oh,
answer.
okay.
Part 2 is coming
No.
out.
Explain
in
it,
10
because no one's going to know.
Yeah.
So there's this show called Attack on Titan, anime called Attack on Titan, right? And for the past 2 years, they've been saying that the season that's coming out is going to be the last
final
season, the
season.
final season.
Yeah,
That's
I
how,
kept hearing this.
That's how they've been marketing it, right?
Yeah.
The problem was when the first final season came out, season 4, they weren't done with the manga. The author was not done, right? So they did like 13 episodes, I believe.
Uh-huh.
And then they said, all right, we're going to have a part 2 of the final season next year, right? By that time, the author was already done with the manga. So we're watching it this year. It just ended like maybe a few weeks ago.
And I heard everybody's telling me, you got to catch up. You got to catch up.
and
I
that's
got to do it.
And I mean,
because this is it. This is the final season.
And I was saying, hey, you guys got to catch up on this because it's going to end. And then comes that Sunday where it was released, and it turns out that they're going to release a final season, part 3.
Season.
Yeah, part 3. So this is just, I guess, a joke or of making fun of
Next year, man.
year.
Like, the whole time, I'm like, man, this is going to be like an event because it's so popular and people are like, it's finally ending.
Right?
Like,
now
Yeah.
they've made
how
it
it's
an
going to be.
event.
So I was like, I got to catch up. For me to see a post on Instagram that says, next year, part 3, the final season, again.
But I prefer that they do that instead of doing what
Game of Thrones.
Finding Neverland season 2 did, where they
Promise
one episode.
Neverland.
A Promise
I
Neverland.
was like
My bad.
the Johnny Depp
Johnny
movie
Depp
where he
movie.
writes Peter Pan.
Oh
the
man,
Promise
I
Neverland.
thought he said leaving Neverland.
He what?
which
He
is
writes
the-
Peter Pan. 'cause
Writes.
He's
Yeah.
J.M. Barry. it
Yeah.
says.
I thought he was talking about the Michael Jackson
Jumberi.
documentary.
Oh, what's that one?
I don't want to talk about it.
I know you told me not to watch it.
Is
when
it
you were
about
in
prison?
high
No.
school.
About
It's worse
Neverland.
than prison.
It is
Mhm.
worse than prison.
So yeah, so in that season 2 of Promise Neverland,
Finding the promise.
the last episode,
Discovering.
they have a montage of 200 chapters.
Man, what was that about? I don't
Right?
understand why they did
I don't
that.
What?
Yeah, so I'm like, I'd rather they do that, give us another season than in the last 2 minutes montage what happens in like 80 chapters.
What did you say? A montage of 200
Yeah,
chapters?
yeah.
how
They
does that
skipped.
work?
They skipped over 200 chapters,
Yeah,
Like the show does?
the show
Yeah.
does, and it ends with them being free at the end.
and everyone was so confused.
And we're like, wait, what does this happen?
Oh, like
And it
at
was-
the Fight Club.
Outrage.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
Wait.
So
we're-
I'd rather that they do
Oh, we're
this.
still talking about that.
Find
Finding
Pro-
Neverland.
Promise,
Bro, I
Starring
thought we were talking
Neverland.
about Attack on
Starring-
Titan. I'm like,
No,
what?
no, no. I'd rather they give
No,
us
it's-
another season than do that.
Okay, yeah.
Johnny,
yeah.
Johnny Depp was great in that.
So our last episode was called Attack on Anime, where we talked about the anime explosion that's happening, or we also talked about our experience with anime. And we ended the episode talking about that one show that brought us a lot of people, majority of the current anime watchers, back to anime, and that was Attack on Titan.
The three of us here too,
The three
included,
of us,
right?
yeah. And
Not Dan.
not
who's
Danny.
Nah,
not
I
really
was
a host.
already.
Yeah, he's not really
Yeah,
a
it's
host on the
okay.
show.
The
though,
three
so it
of
doesn't
you
really count.
there. No one's gonna
Um,
listen to this. I'm gonna delete
Although
it
he was
ASAP.
late to Attack on Titan, though.
We delete his audio from the episodes, anyways.
He was late to Attack on Titan, so.
I was
Oh,
late.
was
to-
he?
You
No,
were.
I started watching.
said
at the
you
end
wa-
of season 2.
Exactly, you were late, dude.
That's
Late.
messed up. That's
messed
wow.
up, bro. That's like
wow.
4 years.
I started at
like
like, the,
7 years.
I
in,
started at the
I
final
thought
season,
it was
bro.
overhyped.
actually.
The first part of the final season.
So now, because of this anime explosion that was caused by shows like Attack on Titan, and
Wait. Before you move on to that,
Go ahead.
this is like a new trend with shows in general, right? That they're breaking up the final season into 2 and now 3 parts. I think The Walking Dead
Stranger
is doing the
Things.
final. Yeah, the final season
Ozark.
part 3.
Ozark's doing that.
I mean, it started off with Breaking Bad.
Yeah, part 1 and 2, and Mad Men did it, I believe, too.
I don't remember.
AMC
Yeah, they
started
did.
doing it, and it was like, how is this? These seasons are short already as it is, so you're just kind of shorting them a little bit, and then spreading them out over a year. How are they the same season? This is
They're giving us half a season.
exactly, and then just
Of
saying,
each,
it's nonsense. Stop doing it.
I don't mind it.
I don't mind it either. Like
Why?
I said, I would rather they
It's-
do that
it's
than
like-
a montage.
So just
No,
call them
I got
different
you.
seasons, though.
No,
don't
but
trick me
it-
into watching
I guess
parts of it.
that's fair. They could call it a different season, but it's like you
the
said,
marketing.
a lot of this stuff is like, oh yeah, we could have done this in like 6 episodes.
How can the final season last 3 years? Does the word season mean nothing?
I don't know. AMC's been having a 100-year anniversary for like 2 years after the fact. So
I mean, 2020 didn't really count for them, the year of the 100.
in 2021,
Yeah.
going to 2022.
People were getting back, and now we're really celebrating it
Okay.
in 2022.
All right, AMC. You're lucky we love you so much, AMC.
Yeah. This is the
A-list.
place where magic happens.
The only birthday Link remembers.
What?
bro, you're gonna have Nicole Kidman wish you happy birthday.
Goodness, no.
Oh, that's not where I thought I was gonna go.
Heartbreak feels good in a place like
So shows like Attack on Titan and My Hero brought a lot of people into anime. And that's what we're going to be talking about, modern anime. What that looks like, some of the tropes, some of our favorite modern animes, and upcoming recommendations for animes that are coming out.
that. I do have a question for you guys. When did you guys realize that anime was coming into the mainstream? Well, I guess technically coming
Akira.
back. It's been since 1983.
I think when Kanye
It was
started,
9092, maybe.
when Kanye started using a lot of Akira imagery, that's when it. Dang, this is mainstream.
It was actually really cool.
In the 80s, when I was watching Knights of the Zodiac
I think
or Saint Seiya.
in the
in the
70s
Speed
when
Racer.
2000s, when did you realize anime was coming into the mainstream?
when Dan was born,
I think I hinted at this, by the way, where like when I was growing up, there was just anime that you didn't think about it as anime. Like Speed Racer, you don't
yeah,
think
for
about
sure.
it as anime.
yeah, I
Yes,
saw a bunch
I
of
didn't know
TV
what it-
shows when I was
'cause
a
I
kid.
didn't-
I thought it was all cartoons.
Yeah,
it's cartoons
exactly.
because we didn't know it was anime.
Yeah, so it's like it's been there, but it was so underrepresented. It was like no different between that or He-Man or G.I. Joe.
For sure,
Okay, yeah.
for sure, dog, for sure.
But in the 2000s, as you mentioned, this huge boom, this explosion, and other working titles for this episode.
So I remember, to me, it was when catching mainstream because in college I would watch it with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have part like Attack on Titan.
What was it
Sunday.
like having friends in college? I didn't experience this.
It was beautiful. At first, when I first got to college, I did not have many friends. I had like 2 or 3, and that kind of sucked. But then my best friend Jeffrey came the same college I was in, and we became roommates. And then that's
And they were roommates.
and that was also the year that a lot of my friends from Miami started to graduate and going to the same college. Gabriel was one of them. And when Gabriel got there, when Gabriel got to the school I was at, that's when I felt like, man, family.
This should be a sitcom called
Because-
Raw Men.
Because okay. Where we eat ramen, dry ramen. But when Gabriel got to college, that was like the most special moment for me because like wow, because I have
Only our viewers can see Link extending his arm, embracing him, his shoulder.
because it was very sad being the first person in my family to leave out to college,
Mm-hmm.
and I missed everyone. That's why I would talk to George and my sister.
That's true because you were like the first one, like in your generation, to like get out of the hood
Hood.
in Kendall.
Yeah, that's right. You don't understand, bro. Like it was a
It was a
struggle.
good one.
I do understand. I was here.
It was a struggle.
He's been here the whole time.
Being able to
I'm
walk.
still
Being able to walk. But no.
I gotta lock my front door when I go to sleep.
You gotta lock your car as well. But yeah, so when Gabriel got there, I'm like, this is special. And then that's
And then we christened it by watching Fast and Furious in theaters
that's when I started.
And that's when you
experiencing-
knew it was family.
forever.
But yeah, that's how it was. It was awesome having friends in college.
That was the
Yeah,
question.
really don't let him
though.
talk, bro.
What,
He's been trying to get this point out for like 5 minutes.
when did you realize anime was coming into the main?
When I graduated, I went to work at a school, at a boarding school as a dean, and I would watch anime by myself. And when I was in college, I just watch it with friends, right? But it was always low key, not many people. And
You don't tell girls about it.
I mean, the girls that were there, I would
Got
tell.
a third-year date question. Answer. Reveal.
And then I remember, like, I was at work, and sometimes there was not much to do, so I would just watch anime in the office. And students would come from during their lunch and watch it with me. And I remember one time I was watching Attack on Titan again because I was watching it with one student, and he really loved 2 students, and they really loved it. But then one day I look back, and there's like 10 of them in the office watching Attack on Titan with me, and seeing how they started talking about it, and then how they started expanding to other animes. To me, that's when I realized, oh wow, this is getting pretty big. And that was around 2018 for me.
Yeah, that was a similar experience for me. It's been 5 years, so I guess that's 2017. When did Attack on Titan come out?
2014, I think.
Yeah, it's
Has
been a
it been
while.
that long?
It's been a
'Cause
while.
From seasons 1 to
That's
2,
a
there's
shot
like
in
a
the dark.
5-year gap. And
Okay, go ahead.
from seasons 1 to 2, there's a 5-year gap. So
Okay, so yeah, so I think it was about 2017, 2016 or so. It was a similar situation.
2013.
2013. Okay.
Oh,
so
but it was released here, I guess.
I think
2014.
So I was teaching in school, and they came up to me and the students, they're like, "We need a sponsor." For what? We want to start an anime club. What do I need to do? You have to stay after school with us. Ugh, why? We're gonna watch anime. Okay. Do I get paid? Students don't know. I don't know. I'm like, all right, I'll let you know. So I go talk
I
to
mean,
the
I was doing it when I was getting
Yeah.
paid. So it was awesome.
yeah, talk to the activities director, and they're like, yeah, you just fill out this form, and you have a formal club, and then you can, do whatever you want.
I want to do that.
And I was like, bet. So I go back.
Okay, Chai.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Zoomer.
Yeah.
Bet.
So I was like, I go back to the kids. I'm like, yo, kids, what's up? It's me. your
How's
new
it going?
anime
It's like Steve Buscemi.
Yeah,
right here.
exactly.
How's it going?
All
fellow
facts.
students?
fellow
Fellow
teenagers.
No cap.
And then I was like, this is straight fire.
What else is fire?
Let's-
That's another one.
It's lit.
It's lit.
No cap.
Man, that's the one I started using ironically, and then it just became unironic.
That's the problem with Miami. That you say
Oh,
these
yes.
things
Ironically,
ironically,
and it becomes part of it.
and then it just
It
becomes,
just becomes part of my
Yeah.
vocabulary.
I would
Yeah.
ironically call my friends the boys, and now
No.
everyone's the boy.
Yeah.
It's my boy right
Yeah.
there.
They even made a show called The Boys.
Yeah.
Like,
Right? Oh,
You made a show called The Boy?
I did.
Oh, okay.
You know who I
that's a
put
good
in
show.
charge of it?
I haven't seen the anime.
You know who I put in charge of
there's
it?
an anim-
You know who I
Stop
put?
looking at me like that.
You know who I put in charge of the boys?
Yeah, it's an animated miniseries. Yeah.
My boy Seth Rogen.
Oh, that's true, and he's in it too.
Oh, is he? I've never
No,
seen
no,
it.
he was in Invincible. I'm sorry.
Seth Rogen is a pioneer in anime.
Yeah,
He's a genius.
exactly. The
Oh.
Boys, Invincible, is that anime?
No. What's this called?
Invincible was so good, man.
Invincible was great. Invincible.
That one about food.
Huh?
The one about food.
Let's move on because everyone's gonna remember it and they're gonna be like, "Oh,
Okay, so
sausage party."
Ugh,
that is an anime.
I've not seen that one.
Good.
it's my favorite anime. Yeah.
That movie takes a dark turn in the
That
third act.
That tracks with Danny's ramen idea.
It's what caused the anime boom in America.
You're right. It came at the
Sausage-
same time as Attack on Titan. And that's what
Yeah.
led people to Attack on
Yeah,
Titan.
yeah. People were like, "Sausage Party. What do I see something like this? Attack on Titan."
Yeah, it was a dark
Yeah.
time.
Sausages eating sausages.
So I would stay after school with the kids, and we experimented with different shows.
Yeah.
Watching different shows.
Yeah.
I mentioned like last episode, Ranja, the robber's daughter. They were like, "Oh, this is kind of kiddie."
Yeah.
We watched Attack on Titan.
Wait,
They
you
loved
said that
it.
you said that before.
Yeah.
Or it's like it's for a younger audience, but
Yeah.
you're watching with kids, and even there they're like,
No, because I think it's for like a very adolescent audience, because these are like high
Ranja?
schoolers. Yeah, and I think
No, I
Ranja.
think Ranja's for elementary students.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Adolescent, really adolescent, because it's like you watch these younger audiences, you're like, oh, I guess I can kind of relate. But elementary, like I don't think I said it, but I was kind of like Dora the Explorer
Oh, okay.
anime. You know what I mean?
No,
How do
no.
you-
It's not because it's story driven. It's not
Yeah.
a learning show.
How do you
Yeah.
spell
You know what I
that?
mean? That's why I didn't
Oh,
say
then that's
it.
kind of cool though for like
Yeah.
for those little kids.
Yeah,
That is pretty cool.
it's why it's really cool, because it's kind of like it's a story driven show. It's like, okay, so Avatar, again, I haven't seen Avatar. I'm sorry, and I will eventually.
Tomato.
But Avatar is kind of like that kind of show for a younger audience, in the sense that like it's almost like anime, but it's accessible for kids
Mhm.
level age, and I think it's around middle to high or whatever, right? The appropriate, even though nobody watches, the appropriate level of entertainment.
anything.
and
Avatar:
right.
The Last Airbender is the Batman, the animated series of that generation.
Yeah, exactly. So with that being said, this is even for even younger than that. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool, because usually there are learning shows right around that age. I'm not sure how many story driven
Totally
shows,
spies.
or most kids shows like that tend to be like almost like sitcoms. You know what I mean? Where they're like episodic, like just episode to episode, like bottle everything doesn't really connect.
Codename Kid Next Door.
DuckTales is awesome because they have like an overarching story. You know, they're telling
Gravity
a story.
Falls.
Gravity Falls, exactly. But these shows are the exceptions. They're rare. They don't usually tell, an episodic story.
Mm.
They're usually like
Adventure Time.
self-contained.
Total Drama
Self-contained
Island.
stories. Exactly. So Ranja's that, but for anime. And I don't
How
know
do you
any
spell
other
that?
show
Because
like
I
that.
want to see what.
I think it's
R-O-N-J-A.
RONJA.
Oh.
Ranja.
So anyways, they watched that. They watched Attack on Titan. They watched One Punch Man. We watched what?
Watch Attack on Titan for Anime Club.
Yeah.
They let you get away with that?
Oh, it's public school, so
I mean,
nobody knows what's going on.
That makes sense.
I got away with it in a private school.
Okay,
that-
well,
that
that's
makes
cool.
cool.
But you're
That
not.
makes
But
sense.
but nobody knows it's happening. It's just
Nobody
like-
knows. Yeah,
it's just like an enclosed activity. This is like they're paying me to do this. Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah. So
I thought it was just like you're just getting paid like as a teacher. Like
no, you gotta know it's after school, so I get a stipend. You know, they get you a
Ah,
and then
that's
and then I got
cool,
really into it because they're like, "Will you take us to a convention?"
That's why.
and I get a field
You
trip.
know what?
I
That's
get
what
to-
it is, man. That's why you don't like Attack on Titan anymore. You don't get paid for it.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Listen, all the anime studios, Crunchyroll. Why not you? Sure, since you distribute everyone.
Sponsor us, Crunchyroll.
Yeah, pay me
Big
to
anime.
watch, and I will. Yeah, big anime. Pay up, all right? Pay up. Pay
We
us
will
here on the
live
show.
stream the anime awards every year with our comments.
Yeah.
Oh, let's
That'd be
do
great.
that next time.
We should.
That's good. Make a note. Put it
For
in the Google
Um,
shared calendar. That
for
Danny
Attack on
created.
Titan, the final season 4, part 3.
Aaron
The win.
Yeager, best protagonist, best,
Best
antagonist.
Antagonist.
Yeah. Should I catch up with Attack on Titan, or should I wait to see if there's a final season part 4?
There will be
There
a
can't be a
part four.
final season. part four. I
Could
don't
you
think.
imagine?
It'll
They've gone
happen. They're
for
just gonna
years.
add it.
Yeah. Final season part 8. Anyway, so that was it. Just experience. I also watched Attack on Titan Junior High.
Didn't watch that.
Yeah, that's cute.
I haven't watched that.
Nah, it's not really worth your time.
That's exactly. I mean, that's why I haven't.
I think another one at the time that was pretty big was My Hero.
Yes.
My Hero Academia.
yeah.
I didn't watch. I remember I was I was visiting Dan's brother. We were all in college, and I was in town, and I remember they were watching My Hero Academia, and they were like maybe like on season 1, I want to say, or later on in the show.
I think was I there? I think it was during the tournament arc, which I think is season.
I think it was the it was the tournament. And I was like, man, this is really cool, but I don't know what's going on because I'm just so lost. And I hadn't by that time I hadn't been watching Attack. I hadn't been watching anything. I wasn't watching anime at all. So I was like, I was still actually thinking about it. I was apprehensive like about anime because I was like, I just hadn't. It's been so long that I hadn't watched it. So I didn't like. That's like the one thing that really like caught my attention. But it wasn't. I don't think I was at a time where I was like, I knew the resources, or like I went out of my way to go look for that anime,
Right.
like to get a Crunchyroll account. If they had Crunchyroll at that time, I don't know.
Yeah, they did.
But
Yeah.
but it was interesting to me.
Niche.
And I mean, my friend Dan's brother, he would tell me, he's like, I think you'd really like this anime. I think you'd really enjoy it, especially with the themes of being superheroes and having abilities and powers and stuff like that. Which I think Dan can expound more upon.
Yeah, I think a big reason why My Hero blew up was because the MCU was already blowing up. But I think superheroes had already come into the mainstream. So I think for Western audience, it was a lot easier to hop into an anime that was about superheroes, a superhero school.
In high, yeah.
Yeah, in high school.
Like The Boys.
Like exactly like The Boy and Invincible.
You're so right about
Animes
that
about
because
superheroes.
the MCU is all about superheroes, but adults. You get me?
Exactly.
Who's the youngest MCU character?
Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's true.
At the time, he
But
wasn't out yet.
but with
At that point.
My Hero, it's like you have they see themselves as superheroes. They're able to relate to it a lot.
And you know what it was for me? Like I started watching it later on, but when I started watching, I was like, man, this is like, Sky High. That movie I watched as a kid, and I love that movie as a kid. And like, it's not a great movie in particular, but
Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
I really enjoyed it. All that stuff, bro.
Spy Kids?
We Could Be Heroes?
Love Spy Kids. I haven't seen that one actually.
Oh, it was a movie. It was fine.
But that's what it reminded me of, and I was immediately drawn to it after that. So sorry, Dan, if I cut you off.
No, you did not.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just want to point out Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I watched it now, like during the pandemic, because We Can Be Heroes came out. Watched it with my niece. I was like, it's okay, it's fine. She loved it, so we went back and watched Shark Boy and Lava Girl. That movie is an unwatchable. Like that's not even a movie.
Yeah, it's
that's
like
a zero.
an acid trip. It doesn't make any sense.
It's not as good as Morbius.
We Can Be Heroes is the new one, right?
Yeah, the new one. Yeah.
I really didn't like that they called the kid in the wheelchair Wheels. That felt wrong.
Well, you know what? You're right. But also, when I was growing up, I was part of the Burger King Kids Club, and the kid in the wheelchair was also named Wheels.
Oh, that is cool.
So,
I'm sorry to everyone in a wheelchair who has ever been cold.
It's not Taylor Lautner, right?
He's owning it. That's why he's like, you know what? I am in a wheelchair, and you know what? I'm great at it. My name's Wheels. He's taking it back.
It's not Taylor Lautner, right?
No, Taylor. They had to put the guy in a mask. Like he gets an upgraded suit,
Dang.
and it's basically only like a cameo. So,
Really?
Yeah, Lava Girl's more in it, and Shark Boy's kind of
Taylor
just
Dooley.
And that's why
Yeah.
I'm Team Edward.
Like Taylor Dooley. What?
What?
You're Team Edward?
Yeah.
I guess everyone's Team Edward.
No, technically, don't we all have to be team? What's his name?
I was
Jacob?
always still Team Jacob.
Yeah, we're Team
like Team
Jacob because
Jacob.
Gabriel is literally Jacob.
Yeah, that's
so
true too.
I support my boy.
He's
Yeah, why
constantly
weren't
walking
you
around
Shark
shirtless.
Shark Boy?
Yeah, why aren't
you
you
should have been
shirtless
in the
right now?
movie.
I was in college.
Gabriel, why do you have a shirt on? You got to be Taylor Lautner.
He might not have a shirt on.
I
Our
don't
viewers,
have a shirt on.
put in
right?
the comments: is Gabriel wearing a shirt this episode?
If you want to see Gabriel without a shirt, support our Patreon.
That doesn't exist yet.
Exists yet,
Yeah.
but that's a type
Coming
of content you will be seeing.
Prepare for shirtless.
I'm
pics.
sorry. Where
It's
did
not.
this go? I like.
It's not. It's not the type of content.
Gabe, we're gonna need some shirtless pics.
So, I'm just gonna Google random shirtless pics.
If they're not of you.
They're not me.
They're just
Taylor
they're just
Lautner.
provided by Gabriel,
Exactly.
but they're random people's shirtless pics.
Like different races with Gabriel's face.
Yeah, different body types too,
Yeah.
because we're not.
We're inclusive, baby.
We're inclusive, right?
What have you heard, George, about My Hero?
Okay, All right. I guess my questions to you would be, why should I watch My Hero? Because I haven't.
That Uno reverse card, dog.
Yeah, because what can I tell you? I don't know anything. I haven't heard. I know it's a show about superheroes, so right off the bat, I was like, I'm not gonna watch it because I'm tired of superheroes.
Everything
is about superheroes.
A year ago, I would have tried to
Yeah,
convince you to watch it.
Yeah, I don't know how to convince
I
you.
can't
Oh,
convince you
okay.
anymore.
So what made My Hero so good when it came out for you guys?
You like Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan?
Yes.
Imagine.
Well, I mean,
Well, no.
the
Good,
concepts of
good,
Good
The-
Hulk, yeah.
yeah, the good, the character, the good character,
not the people.
combine
necessarily.
them, and you get All Might.
Really, All Might.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
All Might was a big selling point.
All Might
Because
is
he's
Ric
like
Flair
this
and
all,
Hulk Hogan combined.
Yeah, he's like this American icon who comes over to Japan. He's like so charismatic.
I always get Cody Rhodes compared to All Might.
No.
No?
Just because.
Is that
No.
Just
don't
because
say-
of the American stuff.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay. Because he's more like Homelander, right? Which is again The Boys, an anime. Okay. So the main characters. That's the main character.
He's the main character's
No.
teacher.
He is a sensei.
He's
Yeah, he's
The
a
Okay.
Mr.
But
Okay.
the main character
He's like
is like
Miyagi.
the main character is very pure, very wholesome. He has good intentions. But
Yeah, cool.
always are.
Midoriya.
I'll
A little
fight
bit of
you.
a loser.
Yeah, he's a nobody. He's
Nobody.
part of the 1% born without powers.
Okay, this is why I didn't watch My Hero. Oh, before we get to why I didn't watch My Hero, there's 2 movies, right? Is that
3.
I've never watched any of them.
how do the
There's
show
3 now.
how do the show movies thing work?
They're not
Because
canon.
This is,
They're not canon.
they're not canon.
They don't
okay, because
matter.
this is very
filler,
confusing.
a long filler episode.
That's what they are.
This is
no, because I feel like some filler
I don't know.
interacts. But go ahead.
This is very confusing, I think, for someone trying to come in like a couple of seasons in, or for just fans who are not aware, our listeners who may not be into anime and are thinking about dipping their toes in the water. Sometimes these shows weave in and out between like movies and TV shows. So you're saying that you can just skip these movies. They're not even
It
they're not even
depends.
good.
on the
I
series.
If you
enjoy-
can
I
watch
enjoyed
them,
the
watch
first one.
them, but you can watch them anywhere, like
Yeah.
after you start the
They're
show.
Yeah,
they're
it doesn't
like
have to be everything.
if you caught up and you're like, oh, I could use a little bit more My Hero. Just watch a movie.
Okay. So you don't think it was worth? Did you guys watch them in theaters or no?
I watched the first 2 in theaters.
Okay. Was it worth the experience to go out and
First
watch
one
them?
was fun. Second one was exciting, but like,
Second one was better.
yeah, I think so.
I haven't seen the second one. I only saw.
And there's the third one now. You said.
I haven't watched the
Yeah.
third one.
Yeah, it's out, but I haven't. Seen it.
It's just,
Work.
the
go ahead.
problem is they're written. I'm pretty sure. I don't take my word for it, but I'm pretty sure they're written by the studio because
Okay.
they're non-canon.
Right.
So
Which is a tradition that like goes back. For example, when I was growing up, I always go back to it. Dragon Ball Z. There's like a whole plethora of films. They're not tied into the canon. Like they take place outside of the series. Some of them even recreate bits that happen on the show, like story
yeah,
beats, you know? And it was like, but they were awesome. So it was almost like an alternate timeline. But then sometimes they would bleed into the show. Like, I know some of the filler in Dragon Ball Z is like Cold, which is Freezer's cousin or something, right? But he comes back
His name
to
is Cold.
yeah. Oh, his whole family is
I
like
remember that, yeah.
Freezer, Cold, Cooler,
Mr. Freeze.
Chill. I don't know.
yeah,
Is Mr.
yeah,
Freeze
they're all
related?
like-
Yeah. So, anyways, so he comes back to life to fight them,
That's
except
so
that he died in a
That's so
movie.
stupid.
What- the fact that older family.
yeah.
Uh,
I sold me. You sold me on
I don't know,
Dragon Ball Z.
Everyone in my family is named George, so I don't know. Is that stupid?
Yeah, but you're not.
Yeah,
it's
you're not-
not
Yeah.
like it's
Cut it
not
right
like
there, edit that.
it's not like they're giving you a synonymous name.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
It's not like you're
Synonyms.
an appliance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Cold comes back from the dead from a movie that took place in a different timeline. So they have to fight Cold again, even though they've never met him. He died in a,
Yeah, I'm not
something else.
super into the non-canon movies. Really not.
Yeah, it was weird. The thing about the DBZ
Like-
movies is some of the coolest stuff came from there.
Like Broly,
Tapian.
Broly references
And
some
Broly.
super stuff, right?
No, because Broly doesn't exist in Dragon Ball Z. Broly is only a movie character.
Yeah.
So, and he's like one of the biggest
Which-
things. Like Tapian is also
Oh,
just a movie character.
I guess I can't say that.
817.
No, not him. He doesn't listen to the show.
I can't because there is like a Broly type character in
My Hero?
Super.
The
Oh,
bald
and
guy.
Super. But
I don't
oh,
know- I don't know
that's the other
anything
thing.
about
Okay,
Super.
so this was my experience with Super where I went to go watch the movie that launches Super, right?
Yeah.
And then I started watching Super, and they're retelling me the same story, and I'm like, I don't want to see the story
It's like
again.
Kai.
Yeah,
It's like a Kai version of the original
exactly. Well,
Broly
no, the
movie.
reverse, because it's like a longer, like drags more version of. No,
Like,
It
yeah,
takes
no, I
more
get in
episodes.
that aspect.
Okay, and then then this happens with
No, they just added what Ultra Instinct
yeah,
and
Ultra
the,
Plus.
yeah, and then
Hey, plus
and
Ultra.
they
Plus
introduce
Ultra.
because they introduce they spend so much time introducing Barris, and now we're really getting to the weeds in the movie.
Yes.
For me to have to introduce Barris again,
no, yeah.
Modern anime.
yeah, and I'm just like, I know we're not talking about this other show yet because we're still on My Hero, but I'm also confused like how to jump into Demon Slayer because they came out with a movie and then redid that movie as part of a series.
Oh, I didn't like
That's
that.
confusing.
I didn't like that
Yeah.
they did that, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, but the movie's a movie, and I kind of want to watch that because I almost went to go watch it. But now that there's like an expanded version, am I going to lose the movie essence or am I going to get more content, in the series? And I just hate that they tell the same story twice.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it as like a weekly episode thing.
You
What?
haven't
I
seen
don't- I don't
the
know how
Mugen
it's-
Train
Yeah,
arc.
I haven't seen the Mugen Train.
The
arc
only
on TV.
thing that is
no, actually, that's a
extra
lie.
is the
Yeah, I
first
saw the first
episode.
part. Yeah, I saw the first episode, which
Yeah,
I
the
thought was
first
awesome.
episode, yeah.
But
But that
that's
was
it.
it. Like I haven't. I don't know.
Delicious.
I can't imagine what the experience is like. I guess.
I
Because
think
even
you
the
should
Mugen
watch
Train-
the first part and then watch the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you think it's better as a film than as
I do.
broken up into parts?
For
Okay.
me- For me,
So
'cause
watch
I saw it
episode-
like that.
Watch episode 1 and then watch the movie. Got
Yeah.
it. Okay. Yeah, I keep getting differ because some are like, oh no, you're gonna get more if you watch the arc, and then others are like, you're gonna waste time. Just watch the movie.
No, I just watched the first episode.
First episode and then the movie. Okay.
Yeah, that to me. I'm surprised no one has said that to you, but that
No,
seems to me
no.
like the cleanest way to
Who are you
do it.
talking to that is recommending these?
I don't know.
AP817, baby.
Our listeners.
Wrong.
Okay.
We love you.
Unless you donate monetarily, right?
Then you're
Mike?
right. No matter what you say, no, you're right.
Capitalist link.
All right. Elitist capitalist link. All right.
No. Capitalist Link is not elitist.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're
he's-
two sides of
yeah,
a
yeah.
different
See,
coin.
Yeah.
There are two links within all of us.
Oh.
Assuming we're still.
It's a link to the past.
You're a link less traveled.
So back to My Hero. I saw the animation and I was like, that's kind of cartoony. And I'm in the middle of superhero fatigue, which I'm still living in today. Obviously, I love superheroes. I grew up with them. I still make time to watch the stuff that I think is really important. But I just think there's so many.
You know what?
So I was like,
I'll
yeah.
agree with that.
okay, good.
I'll agree with that.
Hot
Right
take.
And
I mean, but back then,
I think
when
you guys. I
when
think
My
you,
Hero
you guys
came
would.
out, it was different.
I think
Okay.
the Batman's pretty good. I think you'd find that very refreshing if you guys are superhero fatigued.
Boom, boom, boom.
That was
I
refreshing.
have what maybe a hot take for Moon Knight, but we'll talk about it when we get to Moon Knight. I don't want to say anything. Anyways,
You saw? Oh, you talking about based on the one you just?
yeah,
saw?
yeah.
Okay,
we're
good.
we're for the record.
Alright.
Back
for
back
for all our time traveling listeners, we're halfway through the series. We just finished episode 3, so this is my feedback. But anyways, back to My Hero. No, I was already there at that time because I was like, there's enough. Which is why I dragged my feet on Invincible and The Boys too, because I watched them both
Invincible
late.
was so good.
Yeah, but I was just like, man, there's so many superheroes. So I was like, oh, they're gonna try doing an anime one. I don't know why I was irrationally. So I slept on it, and then the seasons just built up and built up. But I don't know. I kind of think since, like you said, they're younger, and I just kind of felt like, I guess it's for a younger audience. I don't know if I can relate to like kid superheroes, which is part of a longer conversation that I think we're gonna get
But
into.
as
but,
a
like,
teacher,
you can
as a
rel-
teacher, you can relate to the teachers.
Really? Okay, so that's interesting
But,
because
like-
The Eraserhead.
here's my problem. Here's my problem.
I mean,
Some-
no, he's not
I don't know what that means, if I should be offended or not. Here's a problem with like these settings. So often the teachers are so like in the background, like you can't really grab. Like if you watch Harry Potter, you're like, all right, they're kids in a school, whatever. You can't really be like, oh, but the teachers, like, no, you can't relate to the teachers.
I
you
feel
know?
like in My Hero, the teachers are the heroes. They're the ones doing a lot. Like there's certain situations where the kids like kind of have to step up in certain situations.
Is it like a Cobra Kai situation where it's like the show's about the kids, but it's also about like their mentors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except
what?
except they don't make it.
Yeah. it
You're
is.
gonna say except that they don't fight pettily over and over again. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not pedally. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not as
No, but
frustrating.
just the structure. We're
Nah,
just talking
the
about show
teachers.
structure.
The teachers are like, they're really teachers that like they want to help, but they're also superheroes, and they have to like,
It's a part-time. Teaching is like their part-time job.
yeah, like they're helping train.
Oh, that
the-
would be nice.
They're
And-
helping
But-
train
What
the
can
next.
I do?
They're helping train the next generation.
If you want to make teaching my part-time job, donate to the.
But I do have a question.
that might work.
You
Yeah.
you can relate to like coming of age stories and like you can relate to characters and like YA dystopia. What's so different about anime that you struggle to?
Boom.
Well,
Good, that
this
was
was
good.
funny because this was a conversation that I thought of in the YA episode, which again, if you haven't watched YA Dystopia Axiopia, I said watch, Link, you're rubbing off on me. Go ahead and check that episode out. Link does make that comment. He goes, oh, is anime YA? He makes the question. And I was like, it's a funny joke. It's Link, it's a bit.
No, is it true?
But then I started doing a deep dive into animes in preparation for this, and I was like, man, maybe he's right, because there's also fatigue there. Like, I know YA dystopia, but that's not I'm not in love with the genre. I'm not constantly reading YA. Something like The Hunger Games, as I mentioned on the episode, it really calls out to me, and I'm like, oh, this is the one I'm watching. It's not making me go read Divergent and, The Maze Runner. So it's the same thing, like
you
Attack
said
on.
Divergent. I heard The Virgin.
No.
And I was really confused by this.
Yeah,
What book is-
Divergent. The Virgin Suicides, or Virgin River on Netflix. No, The Virgin Suicides is a movie from before. I think it's Angelina Jolie. Anyways, just other Virgin references. So, Divergent. I'm not like reading all these books. They're not taking me, like we talked about Red Queen on that episode. And I was like, oh, that sounds cool. I'm not going to read it, And it's anime's kind of like that way. Like, here's Attack on Titan. Cool. It's not necessarily making me like, what's the other anime show for me to get into? Because I'm juggling a lot of stuff. Not only am I juggling real life, but I'm also juggling a lot of, media to consume.
Wait, you said like you watching one anime doesn't like make you want to jump into another one? Is that what you said? Sorry,
Yeah,
I didn't hear
in the sense, in the sense that like I got into Attack on Titan, and they're like, you guys should watch this one too, and I was like, nah, I'm good. I have Attack on Titan. You know what I mean? Like it's quenching me, my thirst for it. So Aaron on Attack on Titan is already a young
No.
protagonist.
Eren Yeager.
Okay, that guy is already a young protagonist. There's a bunch of kids in the army. Okay, cool. Now here's a bunch of kids that are superhero with a less serious animation style, because I don't know why that's like kind of a thing for me. Like, I don't know. It's probably the kind of anime I grew up watching, like really like 90s.
You grew up watching beautiful anime. Ghibli. So
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
and there's that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's either the super art form, like Best Picture type anime, or like really like hyper masculine or like sci-fi,
yeah.
cool anime. So I never really got into this like cartoony style. That style was limited to like the shows I watched when I was younger. So a young protagonist with a young art style telling like coming of age. I teach coming of age. I watch coming of age. I put up with it, but I've exhausted, I think, my ability. I'm so past that developmental level that I don't know if I can just like jump on another genre of following these stories. So like I said, kids in the army, Attack on Titan, kids in they're superheroes in My Hero, kids who learn magic,
Kids fighting demons.
Yeah, kids fighting demons. Exactly. I feel like that's where the tropes
You hate
start
kids.
to set in.
But I mean,
I
I
hate.
I
I'm
feel
a
like
teacher, I
these
hate
stories.
kids. Nah, I'm just-
You're a boomer. I
I-
get it.
I feel
Okay.
like these
You
stories.
call him a boomer?
These stories are a lot deeper than
Did I
that.
peek?
Okay, how so?
I mean, they have like a lot of these stories have like great themes and great storylines that go through the whole show that kind of look past the whole
For a
YA
while
thing.
before they fall apart.
Well, I mean, on the falling apart from My Hero was animation.
It's the animation style. You think the show's still good? Like the story?
The manga is gritty.
I heard the manga's
And it's
like
fantastic.
After this arc, I heard it gets really good.
But does the show like keep the story and maintain the?
It
of
maintains
the, manga,
the
or-
story, but it loses the darkness and the grit that the manga has
because of the art.
because of the animation and because the
Huh.
studio.
What happened there?
Okay, so basically what happened there was the studio decided to send their main team to work on the movies because it was making more money, these non-canon movies. And then the B team stayed and they worked on the anime. But it's just not as quality as it used to be. So that's why
so
the animation
interesting.
this season is in my
Yeah.
opinion, it's really weak.
Yeah, and I think last week I talked about like how my interest fell off when the quality dipped in Attack on Titan, and I just feel like that happens with these serialized shows, and maybe it's not just manga because that happens with shows. Period, where like here's a great concept, and then they have to keep making them, and like the concept wanes or the direction gets lost,
That's why
or there's shakeups in talent.
yeah,
The
that's why I'm
creators or
surprised One Piece has even gone for 1,000 chapters. And I just don't understand.
It's that good. You gotta watch every episode.
I'm just
No filler.
impressed. I'm impressed
killer.
that people are still
That's a good one.
engaged for 1,000.
I think one of the things that happens is that they do such a good job creating something so mysterious, but then
Once you lose the mystery.
them trying to explain that mystery, you lose it, and it's never as satisfying as.
Rise of Skywalker.
I think Attack did a really good.
Yeah, like
good
Attack on
stuff.
Titan does that. Like
I think Attack on Titan really get a really good. There's so much mystery
there's so
holding
much
throughout
mystery,
the season.
and then once you realize what it actually is all about,
Oh, his dad gave him drugs.
it's like, oh
no, he told his dad to give him drugs.
True.
Oh yeah.
It's like you kind of lose. Like, okay, it's not as good as it was before because you lost all that mystery.
Mhm.
Man, to me, Attack. There was like when I was binging all of it, like, this is amazing, and then I got season 4, and I'm like, this is depressing, and I needed a break, and I hadn't caught up to.
War is depressing.
I hadn't caught up to Attack like the rest. I think for the rest of the year.
Uh-huh.
But after I'd finished part 1 of Attack, season 4, the final season, part 1, right? Yeah. After I finished that one, it was I jumped onto My Hero, which I think brought a levity that I felt like I needed and I enjoyed because I was so on
Okay,
the
so
other side.
so it's like it's not like a super serious show. Like it's joyful, it's upbeat, it's cheerful.
Yeah, it's more
It has
upbeat.
serious moments, like
Uh-huh.
for certain characters. Like one of my favorite characters, it's like a relationship with him is like his father. He's like another really big superhero, but
Mhm.
he has like a troubled past with him, and like it's you see like their relationship and how it.
Todoroki.
I mean, a
And
lot of.
so
Sorry.
I like
didn't
a
mean-
lot of stuff with him. It's okay. Go ahead.
But even
uh,
then, this goes back to what Danny was saying. Like the storylines are deeper than just in high school. Like you're actually dealing with a father and son, a broken father son relationship.
a lot of this, a lot of the problem with like manga and the reason why mangakas can't finish their stories, it's because of the scaling issue. Every arc gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And then they never know how to finish their
Mhm.
stories.
Dragon Ball.
And I
And it gets very repetitive too after. a while.
Yeah,
That's
there's
my
only
problem.
so much
That
you
was
can
my
do with a lot of
that's
these
my problem.
concepts.
Yeah, because that's
Yeah.
my problem with My Hero Academia. Like it's literally the same thing over and over and over again.
Where I stopped watching.
Same formula.
Where I stopped watching in the current season, that's when it was getting repetitive for me, which I haven't even finished. I have like a couple episodes left,
Mhm.
but it was like they were basically redoing like
It's the same thing.
they were redoing a competition between classes that they already did already. Like
Yeah,
Same-
that
and
they lost me there.
that's where I stopped
They
watching.
do that they do that twice a season, and I'm scared that this repetitiveness might also happen in Demon Slayer.
I'm starting.
They're
to
they're a
feel that
little
way.
they're a little bit more repetitive.
Yeah.
They're
Well, because
repetitive, but
Demon Slayer's the one that got me back into anime. That's what kicked off my summer of
Oh
anime.
yeah.
Like that's the one like because I started the first season of Attack during the pandemic and I didn't continue it. And then one day I remember I was coming back from a trip with Dan's brother and a couple other friends who were really big like they were really
Papa
big into
Julian.
anime.
Mhm.
And so they were telling me like, oh, like Naruto and they're like Demon Slayer's really good, and I kept hearing it from all over the place. I had some time.
Somebody said Demon Slayer was their favorite anime. Who was this? Was it any of us?
I think at first it was Dan,
No,
Right, and then he switched to
to
Jujutsu
Jujutsu
Kaisen.
Kaisen, and I think
it
Gabriel,
wasn't my
maybe?
favorite.
Mm,
It's
nah,
never.
I think
it
watching
hasn't been on my
Jujutsu
top
Kaisen. I
5.
mean, maybe I said
Yeah,
it.
like,
Yeah, yeah, I
if
think
you
at
want,
the
if
time.
you want to find out, then go back and listen to our anime episode.
Oh yeah, Anime 101.
The
Um,
answer is
I think
in
it was. I
Anime
think it
101.
was in my top 5.
yeah,
I think I did say
yeah.
that. But like watching the other one, Jujutsu Kaisen, and I've changed my idea, but we'll get to that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same
we
thing.
will
same
get
thing,
to that.
Same
But-
thing happened to me.
But Demon Slayer is what got me back into it. Was on Netflix, and like that's the thing, it's accessibility. I'm not roaming Crunchyroll.
Right.
Netflix is a type like I'm just like kind of surfing through Netflix to see what else is there, and I see Demon Slayer pop up, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot. And then the first episode I watched, and I hadn't watched anime of my own volition in years.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, you know what? I actually really like this. And I just binged the whole season in like 2 or 3 days. And then I was like, for me, I feel like I had the opposite effect of you, like not searching, like watching one anime and having it quenched.
Yeah.
I think it was the opposite. I was like, I want more. And that's where I went
Yeah.
to start looking for, like, I started asking for recommendations.
That happened to me too.
And then I started catching up to Attack. Then I started My Hero, which is where I was. But for me, Demon Slayer was the one that really got me back into it. But I have noticed, like, aside from like the beautiful animation that it is getting a bit repetitive
Yeah,
in some of the things that
Isn't
they
it?
do.
Isn't it only in season 2?
Yeah, and which kind of says
It's because when you do a lot of things in season 2, you also start to see certain like patterns in season 1 where
Yeah,
it's
but-
like it's more noticeable.
That's kind of like, you going back and being like, I think the root of it.
Like,
was
because when it
here.
was happening, I was like, oh, this is interesting. This is an interesting take. And
Yeah.
it's like you kind of just you like the show so much you overlook it, I think, for me.
Because you're like, we're getting our feet off the ground.
that's
you
a
know?
good way
so-
to put it, honestly.
So it was just kind of like, oh, this is happening again. For me, when I was watching it the first time, I didn't feel bad about it. Like I didn't think of it in a negative way. I was like, oh, this is interesting. Oh, we're doing this again. Oh, we're doing this kind of like almost every time we have a big like showdown or whatever.
Mhm.
But to the point where in this season, the last episode was a product of that, and I was like, you really spent the last episode of this like highly anticipated season on something that like I've seen so many times and I don't care to see anymore. And that's where I was a bit like frustrated, especially since how many episodes are the Mugen Train that I saw in the movie already?
Too many, man.
I
It's
feel like I got
6
gypped
or
a season.
7.
You got
No,
I feel like it was like half a season.
Oh,
Yeah,
because the
we really-
Mugen arc is part of the
It
season.
counts as
Yeah.
like it's like 18 episodes, and that's like 10 of them.
Which is
Or
incredibly
less.
frustrating.
Nah, I
6 or
think it's
7.
like 6.
Which is it's annoying because
Or 6 maybe.
you watch season 1 and you're expecting, okay, we're gonna get 21 new episodes, right? Plus we're getting a movie.
Exactly.
No, but to find out, no, we got a movie,
Right.
and then 10 extra episodes.
Yeah, that seems frustrating.
It was super
That to
frustrating.
me was frustrating.
I'm frustrated just because this is what paused me on like, let me see how this shakes up, because I heard, okay, they're doing the arc and then the rest of the season, and I was like, I don't know where to jump on. Let me wait to have this conversation. I basically don't do anything until we have an episode about it, and then you guys tell me how I should proceed. So
But I also think like Demon Slayer has been one of those animes that have just really like contributed to this boom in
Mhm.
Yeah.
anime.
That is true.
It's wildly popular. I know,
It's a good stepping stone from
Yeah,
Attack on
and that's
Titan and My Hero.
and that's like when you asked me, it's like, what should I watch first? And I would say, because I think your options were like Jujutsu Kaisen or Demon Slayer, and I was like, definitely, I think you should
Yeah.
watch Demon Slayer first,
mhm.
because Jujutsu Kaisen could be a little jarring at first.
Right.
I know that it was for me.
More
It was
com-
like those are the
it's
three.
more complicated.
Yeah, those are the three. My Heroes was also in rotation, but I just knew like these two are in season 2, and
Yeah.
they're pretty. Season 2 is pretty fresh, so this is a good point to jump in. My Hero, I'm gonna have to play a lot of catch up. So
Yeah,
like the Link principle, I
Yeah.
can knock out both of them
Yeah,
before
exactly.
I even go to My Hero.
and that doesn't. And I mean, for me, man, like I
like
still,
that, the
I
link principle.
I still love Demon Slayer. But to me, I was making claims that like is my favorite anime. Is my favorite
we have
animes.
it recorded,
And it's
for
so
history.
like, and then it's like, once I go back, like once I look back and look at it, like actually think about it, it's kind of just like, there are chinks in the armor.
Yeah,
There are things that you see, like it's not infallible. It's not like, I love the animation, and to me, that's something for me. Like, I don't know, like I guess I don't know, it's not struggle with, but sometimes it's like I don't know if I can appreciate some anime, like certain animation as well as you guys,
hmm
where it's like with My Hero, like you guys were like, I mean, Dan was saying that like the animation fell off for him, and I still have to go back and watch it, but it's like it's a bit harder for me to tell sometimes.
like you were just like, same difference,
Yeah, in certain aspects,
right?
but I mean, some things I could tell that it is different.
Yeah.
But I think it is harder for me. I don't think I have such a keen eye as you guys do.
Mhm.
And I think that goes back with like, I feel like you guys had an education with the Ghibli films that like I said, I'm still like, I've watched one every few couple of years.
Uh-huh.
So it's like it hasn't been like kind of indoctrinated in me that it's like this is like beautiful. In Demon Slayer, it's like I think you
this is
can
beautiful.
tell like
This-
this is
Oh, yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
How are you watching these shows? You're watching them actively, intently, or you're watching them passively while you have another activity?
You have to watch
Actively,
actively because you
actively.
sub.
Oh, 'cause subs,
I
that's
do
right.
subs, so I
Yeah,
have to do
so-
yeah.
actively.
Yeah.
I
Like,
think
it's
the
like-
dub is late, right?
Yeah, with
And that's the thing that I have to wait
It's
for
like a
them.
week.
And that's the problem because we talked about the large window between sub and dub. Like I have to wait for the dub because that's how I watch it, and especially I watch it with my wife. And most of our activities is either in bed or in front of the TV after a long day of work. So we're not going to be reading the sub, and because I have to wait so long, I'm already late, and then the conversation has passed, and then there's just something else gets in the way, something timely, more timely than that. So I'm always playing catch up, and oftentimes I just don't catch up.
no,
What
I can agree.
What is this show about? Like
Demon
Demon Slayer? Yeah.
Bro,
what
Demon
do you
Slayer's-
think it's about?
I think that they fight demons.
What type of fighting?
Okay, let's.
Wait,
Okay,
Demon Slayer.
I was thinking like swords.
I know, but what are the
Maybe
what are
they
they
have
doing to this
spells.
demons?
Killing them.
Yeah, slaying was the right answer, but
Yeah.
but yeah, they're slaying demons.
That's the first thing I said. They slay
But
demons.
They're
No,
a
you
lot
didn't.
more like vampires.
I did it.
Nah, they're like vampires.
They're
to
like
me.
vampires.
Okay,
They're like vampires.
I keep hearing
It's
this.
like
This is what I hear.
like you could call it if there wasn't a show called Vampire Hunter, like it's pretty much
Are
what
they
it would be.
are they
Vampire.
more demons on Jujutsu Kaisen than
Yes.
Demon Slayer? Okay, because when we get to Jujutsu Kaisen,
That's what I thought. I mean, that
that
feel
shows
like
not
we
what
should
I
just switch
expected.
the names.
Yeah. So with Demon
Even
Slayer,
Jujutsu Kaisen wouldn't make sense for Demon Slayer, but whatever.
Sorcery fight.
it could be because it's just no, because it's just an. Oh, is that what sorcery
Yeah,
fight means?
Jujutsu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorcery.
Also, that's why the name of the school is that.
Yeah.
The school. Anyways, so
Hogwarts, yeah.
yeah, basically. So when I heard about Demon Slayer, Gabriel saying best show ever. So is Dan.
Go.
You know, Link is saying watch it, and I'm getting excited, and I'm thinking,
That's right. Link doesn't say best.
yeah, because he knows better.
Again, I don't think I
Um,
said best, but
I think you did.
No,
Uh,
Danny didn't. I know what Danny said.
What did he say?
He said Jujutsu Kaisen at first.
No, because this was a conversation
Oh,
before
before-
Jujutsu
oh, yeah,
Kaisen.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was
When
already
Jujutsu
reading
Kaisen-
Jujutsu Kaisen.
No, but when Jujutsu Kaisen hit, like season 1,
This is
it
probably
was
when you were
like,
in
it's
high
my
school.
favorite anime.
This was when you were in high school, Dan.
yeah,
Yeah,
you were like
we're-
Demon Slayer, Demon
We're
Slayer, Demon
riding
Slayer.
a high.
So with Demon Slayer, I thought about this really like, I guess I go back to these defaults, hyper masculine, 90s. I'm thinking something like Berserker, like Vampire Hunter D, Fist of the North Star. I'm talking about like, I didn't know anything about the show except it's called Demon Slayer and that apparently I should be watching it. So I thought it was a bunch of BA, like Castlevania style characters slaying demons. That's not what I got. It was little kids and, the little chibi art. I know that's not chibi art, but, a less like adult. And it put me off because instantly I saw the art and I thought about My Hero Academia. And then I thought about the exact same reasons why I hadn't seen My Hero.
You know what? And that's same
The
thing.
art puts you off of Demon Slayer?
Like, I've only seen the posters. I haven't seen the show. You know
The
what I'm saying? But
character
I just-
design puts you
The
off.
character design.
Yeah.
It's
There we
not
go.
the-
You know what?
Yeah.
You bring up a good point because that same thing happened to me with Demon Slayer. Because I read the manga,
Mm-hmm.
and as I'm reading it, I'm like, they're 13-year-olds
Right.
fighting demons, right? And this is a problem. Like, you have this organization that's dedicated to getting 13-year-olds to fight demons. Where are all the adults? right?
Yeah.
Where are the I don't want to say millennials, but where are the 20, like the young adults?
Yeah.
Why aren't they fighting as much as
Because they're
Demons,
dead.
Yeah.
because and that's the thing too. But it's like, wow, this is sad.
Wait, because they're dead, so no one's having children?
Well, the problem with Demon Slayer, or the reason
Yeah,
why I
they are
give
the
Demon
children.
Slayer a pass is they're getting children because they're running out of people.
They're running, yeah.
Okay.
Because their people are dying.
Interesting.
So I give
Also-
Demon Slayer a pass.
But also, the writers came up with that idea, right? So that they could write adults out of the show. Because that's like the Harry
And
Potter.
that's why, like, all the adults, I guess, if you're gonna say the adults or the older ones are
Nah, bro.
the leaders.
All the
the
adults
Hashidas.
are BA, bro.
They're
Yeah,
Hashidas.
but-
They're,
So they
they're-
are adults
they're-
on the
that's
show.
the
Yeah, they're
thing,
the
like-
pillars of the organization.
Okay.
You say they aren't BA, but they're so.
They're
great.
so.
the
they're
adults
Nah,
are
I think
BA.
they're the coolest parts,
Who
man.
said they're not BA?
You did,
You.
No, because again, I've never
but
seen
he's never
this
seen
show.
the show. Yeah,
So I'm thinking that the leads, you know,
Are
I'm
gonna
thinking
look
that
B,
that's
yeah.
what this show is about.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I was thinking, you know, and that's the thing, that the marketing for these shows, where are these characters? Like, I don't know, you know, they're always front and center. And I guess it's
I mean,
fair.
season
I
two
mean, you
has
want to
the
have
the
main
leads.
cast on the cover.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So, but it's just, I don't know. It kind of looked the same. It kind of was like, okay, high school superheroes, high school. I know they're not in high school, but they're even younger than that, right? They're
they're
Yeah,
literally
they're like
13-year-olds.
children.
Yeah.
So like little kids fighting vampires, and it's just like I kind of start to see a pattern here where like
It's hard to believe
yeah,
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 that
yeah.
these people. Get me? Because I see a 13-year-old now. I'm like, okay,
I also think that the stories I used to explore in anime when I was growing up were much more diverse and ironically about mostly adults. You understand? I'm a kid, you know, in a futuristic city with adults, or fighting vampires with adults, or, you know, special, you know, fighting in a tournament with adults. And ironically, now as an adult, it seems to be congested with, you know, coming of age.
Do you think that has to
adolescent
do?
stories.
Well, obviously, that you've had a lot of like you said, you teach coming of age, but it's like, do you guys think that it has to do with something like you see kids this age every single day, except for like weekends, obviously, when you work,
Yeah.
like you teach at a school.
Mhm.
Do you think that that has some effect? Because to me, like, I'm not thinking, oh my God, is this 13-year-old can't realistically kill a demon? Like, that sentence to me just doesn't make sense. And it's like, in anime, it's like, what do I believe? Do I believe any of this is possible?
Yeah, I
Like,
guess
Yeah, I
because
do.
I'm around 13-year-olds all the
Like-
time, I know like very
does make
clearly in my
sense.
mind. There's
Is
a
it-
suspension of disbelief. Like I can believe there are vampires and that you fight them with magic, but I can't believe that this 13-year-old can do it because I know 13-year-olds. I spend way too much time with them, and like they can't tie their shoes,
like,
let
like,
alone.
like there was another one. There was another one that we were talking about, like Tokyo Revengers, where these kids are in middle school.
This is
And
the
I
only
get
one
it.
that
Like, why are
bothers me.
why are these gangsters in middle school? And I get that. I completely understand that.
Yeah.
Like, because it doesn't make sense at all. But again, I'm not thinking like that. Like, I'm just watching the show and I'm seeing like where that story takes me. It's not that the fact that they're in middle school, it takes me out. Like, it takes me out. Like,
Yeah.
it's not gonna detract me from watching it if I enjoy the story. Like, I like it.
Okay, so like AP Bio, I watched the show. I recommended it a couple of
Mm-hmm.
you know months before, but and it's funny, but I enjoy it less than probably a random person. But I said, go ahead and watch it because I work in a school and I've worked in AP programs, and I was just like, whoever wrote the show has not, like, because a bunch of stuff here happens that like would never happen, not because it's ridiculous, but because that's just not like how like classes functions and schedules and like rotations and like teacher,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So I guess it's that, like, because I'm around 13-year-olds. Listen, middle schoolers, they're beautiful individual people with personalities and a plethora of skills, all right? But also, they can't do anything, okay? And I just don't believe that they can do any of these things. Sorry. There has to be, like, for example, Harry Potter, right? Those kids at first could do very little, right? And they're kind of bumbling their way through the adventure. And as they grow up and progress, they gain autonomy, right? I just think that like you said, sometimes they're just already gangsters and already fighting demons, and I don't know. I think Dan was gonna say something.
I was gonna mention the only reason Tokyo Revengers took me out was because I was expecting like when he goes back, I was expecting a little bit more like realistic, more grounded, and then I was like, oh wait, these are middle school. But for every other story,
See, okay, so that's what happened with me because it was my expectations. It's unfair. I expected a story about superheroes, a story about. I never imagined them as 13-year-olds. The
get
pitch isn't wrong.
I look past it for other series because I'm just like,
But
The
you're
wor-
saying because it's in Tokyo?
yeah. Well,
So,
not
like,
because it's in Tokyo, because it's like
He's okay with them being kids, but just not in Tokyo. I'm just kidding.
I
That's not
I
what you're
wanted
saying.
that to be like a more serious story.
But the
That's how
time
I
travel
feel.
didn't take you out?
No, because Erased to me, it's like
He wants a time travel story with gangsters that are not children.
Like, to me,
Yeah.
I don't.
And that's what I feel.
When
I want to fight vampires, but to not be 12.
When I first started watching,
Death Note.
when I first started watching Tokyo Revengers, I was like, why aren't these kids in high school? Like, why did they put them in middle school? That was like, that's an interesting choice. But then I just got sucked into the story, and I was like, all right, I look past it. But I mean, obviously, like what we mentioned, like you are with children a lot, like for work. So to me, like, when's the last time I hung out with a 13-year-old? Like, I don't.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
That
And I
reference
totally-
point to me is not
exactly.
there.
Your reference point is your time as a 13-year-old.
Yes.
Like
X
I was
amount of
killing
years ago.
demons. I was in a gang like at 13 years old. Like
Yeah.
middle school was a
That
great
normal,
time.
Yeah, and that's what they do today, anyways. So
I was in the army fighting titans.
yeah,
Like middle
I'm
school
glad
is
you
watching
made it out.
watching Euphoria. Yeah, like
Yeah, that's
That
the
makes
only
sense.
thing they can do. Watch Euphoria. That's all they're good for. Just kidding, middle schoolers. I love you all.
I
Um,
do wish some of these stories had older characters, but
Diversity. That's what I'm talking
But
about.
they,
Yeah.
I mean, they do have
But there's
diversity.
just so much anime.
I'm
out
talking
there.
about in regards to age representation.
No,
That's what I'm
that
talking
I
about.
do
I
agree
wish
with.
I wish some of these stories, okay? If it was just My Hero,
No,
then I would understand. That's the
But those are just the popular ones. That's why I try to branch out and see other ones
Yeah.
because some of the other stuff that I do watch, there are older people.
I mean, that is true. You're looking at this with
the
a
most
microscope.
popular ones are children. Yeah.
Okay, so-
Because
and
these
that-
are the Shonen Jump. These are
Right.
Yeah.
but this
Shonen,
is like the stuff that's like getting brought to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's the problem, that's who I'm surrounded by, and that's who's bringing it to
Yeah.
me. But also, when it comes to a group of adults that we sit down to produce a show about it, they're also the ones that we're talking about. And
Well, I
that's who I'm
can
hearing, the
give you
adults.
adult and more serious series. Like I can
Name
give
me
you
one.
those.
Name me a
Death
couple just
Note.
right off the bat.
Erased.
Death Note.
Erased,
Okay.
yeah.
He's an adult.
Death
He was
Note.
in high school.
He's a
He's
senior,
College. Yes.
but it goes all the
no.
way through.
He yeah.
Okay. Oh, how long does
Senior
it last?
goes into college, and then after he
Becomes an
graduates.
adult. Yeah.
Ichigo's in high school.
Oh,
right?
I thought it was just one movie on Netflix.
Odd Taxi. Another one. Odd Taxi.
Okay.
What did you say? Sorry.
No, I said that I thought it was just one movie on Netflix. Death
Oh.
Note. But he said Odd Taxi. Okay. Yeah, I'm just not, hearing about it. So I keep getting brought back to these narratives, and they seem very similar.
You are hearing about it because I recommend them all the time.
Yeah, you do. But I just
think-
Odd Taxi, I just think it's like a crazy taxi anime.
Oh,
I think that
I
too.
want
man.
that now.
I think
other
you
show-
can find those stories that you're looking for as well.
Yeah, because there's so many animes out there, man. But like you say, like
But they're not in the
I
popular.
personally
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I feel like, especially like with the popular ones, I really like gravitate, and I see this theme in a lot of the popular ones is teaching, like the adults teaching the younger generation,
Yes.
or the younger
Growing
generation
young.
is the main cast,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It has, for me, that hasn't really gotten old,
Right.
and I think that can go back to like when we're talking about Cobra Kai,
Mm-hmm.
like certain stuff like that where it's like, which by the way, go listen to our Cobra Kai episode.
Cobra Kai must die.
I think that and for you guys, it's the same way, and maybe that can go back to that.
Well, because here's my problem with that. And again, I haven't seen any of these shows except for the Jujutsu Kaisen movie, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I haven't seen any of these shows, so I'm just projecting my feelings onto them, which is why I can't start them. But I know that many times when we see these relationships between teacher and student or parent, and child, the parents or the teachers are kind of not useful. They're obstacles. Like Harry Potter's guilty of this a lot. And I think there's been a long conversation about it. How like you basically have to ignore all the adults in your life. Like your parents are horrible. Sure, some of them have good parents, but like Harry's parents, for example, they're his adopted parents, right? His family is terrible. He has no support. And then like all the teachers, like they're just regulating, and you have to disobey them and break all the rules, and then in the end you win.
See,
And it's
anime doesn't do that.
Yeah, but that happens a lot in like these young shows, these shows with these audiences, for this being the target audience, and a lot of television shows, the parents kind of suck and the teachers are, useless and you don't really listen to them and they're the worst. And like, you got to kind of find your own way. And like, I don't know, I guess as an educator, it kind of brushes up against me the wrong way.
It doesn't paint
Does it?
kind of like your role in a positive
They're
light.
just
Yeah,
saying
not only that, it's not realistic, man. Like, it's just 13-year-olds can't just figure out their lives for themselves. They're 13.
One Punch Man. He is old.
Hey.
I did watch One Punch Man, and I enjoyed season 1.
Yeah.
I haven't seen season 2. How's that?
I mean,
I don't want to
You're
talk
good
about
with
it.
season
I don't.
one.
I haven't
You're
seen
good
it
with
either,
season
but
one.
I've read part of the manga, like past season 1, and I don't know.
I do want to
Well-
read the manga. It's beautiful.
It's
No, it's
no,
not.
it's very simple. I mean, it's beautiful, but then when they draw,
Yeah,
it, it's very
exactly,
simple. It's the most adorable thing
Which is
ever.
great.
Love it.
Wait, so you're saying I should just end the season 1?
Yeah, just don't watch season 2.
Why? What? Without any spoilers, what?
I don't want
What's
to
the
talk about it.
matter? Oh,
I think they never reach. I don't know. I've never seen it, but from what I've heard and from going with the manga, I think that they end up. It's like it doesn't. The season ends. There's a big boss, and they don't even. He doesn't even fight him,
really?
Yeah.
and that's like okay. You're building up this whole Saitama versus his guy,
The joke got taken too far.
and it's like they never
You know,
interact.
and that is one thing.
And
I
it's
was,
dragging. It's actually even in the manga, it drags.
That was one thing I was afraid of when like the concept is so good that it can only like wear out its
I mean, you
welcome.
have-
How long
that-
can
That's
you
have
a
to-
sustain
one
it?
season
You
concept in my
No, but you
Yeah.
have to drag
And I
it.
wish there were more of those shows. You know,
You have to drag it out because his power is like once you meet him, that's it. It's over, right?
Mhm.
It's not. It's the opposite of Dragon Ball Z,
yeah.
where it takes 20 episodes to do a Kamehameha. In one punch, he will destroy you. So you have to drag stuff out, and that's it's the payoff isn't there.
That's sad. Well, that was one of the shows that was
R.I.P.
On a
I'll
more
read it one
positive
day.
note,
uh-huh.
Danny's
favorite anime.
Well, nah, see, I have claims.
And I'm there. I will agree. It's
Already?
It's-
You're
it's-
gonna say you agree that?
because when we had the
What happened
conversation,
to the link principle?
no. When we had the conversation, I in Anime 101, I like Demon Slayer a lot. Danny got me into it. I liked it a lot. Once I beat that slump of Jujutsu Kaisen, I realized this show is great. I think I like it more than Demon Slayer.
Bro, it's just it has a little hump. you
There's a
gotta
learning
get
curve,
over.
yeah.
And I think that learning curve comes off in volume 0.
Yeah.
It comes off.
Like if you watch it,
I think you
if
can
start
tell
off-
he's still not sure what he's doing.
I needed a rewatch.
You mean in the film?
Yes, because again, it was a pilot. Volume 0 was a pilot.
Okay.
His idea for the series.
Which is why I'm gonna give the series a chance. But you guys were talking up this movie, and you guys like literally got up and left to go watch it multiple times while we were together.
I've only watched it once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But-
he was supposed to
Oh,
watch
he
it
was
the
supposed
second
to watch
time.
it.
He-
And
yeah.
told me
You
was-
got up.
He was
to
on his
leave
way.
and then sat back
and told
down.
me he was coming.
I saw 2 cars blocking me. I'm like, I don't know. I'm
Your
not
boy
gonna hit-
texted me on my
He
way,
was on his way.
and me looking for until like the last like 20 minutes of the movie to the right. Is he's ever
Yeah,
gonna
he
show
ruined
up?
my second viewing.
And halfway through, I'm like, bro, he's not gonna show up.
You know
Stop
what?
looking.
This shows.
But then he made up for it
You
by
lo-
being the only one to go to Morbius with you.
You love me, man. You guys love me. Thank you. You guys are thinking about me the whole movie.
I really was. I was like, is he
I feel
okay?
loved.
Like, did he
Thank you.
crash? Like, did he
Thank you.
die? What happened?
Right?
Nah, like after like the third time I looked over, I was like in my head, I was like, he's not gonna show up, but I'm still gonna keep looking.
I honestly, when he told
We
me,
kept on
I thought he
searching.
was joking, and I thought keep on searching for the link.
Searching for love.
So
Nah, man, I could see how it's jarring, man. Like,
It's not easy, especially with
You,
Volume
what's her
0.
name? What's her name?
Rika?
Rika. I can see how that's like weird if you're not used to it.
Oh yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen 0 was like, what is this show about? This is someone's favorite.
Because even when I started
It's
Jujutsu
not easy,
Kaisen,
man.
the first time I watched it during the
Uh-huh.
summer anime, I was like, this is interesting. And Danny just kept going until it built up and like it
It
went on
finds
later.
its footing.
Yeah. And then I was
Okay.
like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. And then it kept going and it just kept getting better, even up until the end. and I love like the characters are fantastic. They were great, but I wasn't over the moon. I wasn't like on the same high I was as I was for Demon Slayer, which is interesting because recently went like in preparation for Zero for the movie that just came out.
Right.
We had all rewatched Jujutsu Kaisen season 1.
Bleach.
And
Yeah, you know what? Yes, because it is inspired by Bleach.
and watching it again, I was like,
Huh, I
This
see
show
the
is-
similarities.
this show is very good. Like it's
Yeah, the tropes. That's the similarities.
this show is really good. And then we went to and then we saw the movie and I was like, oh, this movie makes it even better. It was like for me it was so good that I went to go read the manga after. And I'm almost caught up on it. And whatever like this like high school or whatever trope, this academy school trope that you have of this that you think this show is.
I have it. You're right. It's mine.
That you think this show is.
It's not.
It breaks it.
It's completely different.
Completely
Okay.
shatters it.
Because it's one of the things I enjoy. Sorry, it's one of the things I enjoy about like anime. A lot of the times I tend to predict things either like in shows or films or stuff like that.
Yeah, he ruins movies.
And so like in a way, yeah, in a way that like that does tend to happen with anime. I have no idea what's gonna come next, and I don't
Because
even try.
it's a genre that it's a culture that you don't
Exactly, I don't
understand.
understand.
Yeah, 5
Yeah.
minutes in, Gabriel was like, "This is the Riddler's plan in the Batman."
And I was like, oh, dang it.
So you would say this film is like required viewing for Jujutsu Kaisen?
I think
No, it
watch.
is.
Would you say watch the
I watched the show
the first season? Yeah, the show first, then the movie.
See,
Yeah,
before
yeah.
I would have said no, but after watching it, I realized that they expanded on it to the point where you kind of have to watch the original.
Yeah.
You need a stronger basis than going to the
Yeah.
movie like that because half of the time you're still thinking, what is this even about? And you can't appreciate what you're
Right.
actually
Yeah,
seeing.
exactly.
Okay.
I feel like if you watch the show, you get that foundation. But even then, because I didn't even understand everything, because it is a bit of a thing to wrap your head
I still
around.
don't understand
Because
it.
there's still stuff that like for Danny, I still had to ask him about
Right.
certain things
Mhm.
and having to do a rewatch and then being able to actually
I-
appreciate.
I kind of overheard you like ask one of those questions, and I still didn't know what you were talking about.
There
but,
is
yeah.
a lot of groundwork being laid.
It's
in
thought
Volume
out,
Zero
and that's what I.
in
Okay.
season
It's
one.
intentional.
And everything happens for a reason, and I absolutely love it. The
No,
world,
even everything. like,
Everything.
even everything.
Everywhere,
All
everything,
the time.
all at once.
all at once. Oh.
Bagels, everything bagels.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna give the show a chance, but again, more teenagers, and here it wasn't even the setting, although that was like the first red flag for me. But it was also, I thought this show was gonna be a little more serious. The asides, the big teardrops, the pan in, the blurry characters in the background, the jokes that are like, okay, the talking animals, even though I know it has like a dark explanation or whatever.
Panda's not a panda.
And there's not a
But
panda.
I'm gonna let it ride. I'm definitely gonna get to it, especially because it's only in season 2.
That's
Season
just
1.
No, what? Oh, it's only one season.
yeah.
Yes. Okay, I'm
It's,
definitely.
yeah,
gonna
it's
get to
it's an easy to catch up. It's just 24 episodes.
Oh,
But
don't
it's
like
just when it's serious, it is.
I guess it's like 12
serious.
hours, right?
Like there's no.
I saw the movie
There's a
already.
there's a lot of stuff that's dark.
You know what's funny? You say that when it's serious, and because I watched the first half, and the whole time I'm complaining, why is this show? Why are people love it? The show sucks, and I was vocal about it. Like I'd go on Twitter and say, the show's boring as fuck.
It's the worst
Oh,
few
okay,
weeks
so
of
I'm
my
not,
life.
So I'm not crazy, right?
No, it's not crazy.
Oh, thank goodness.
But then again, once the comedy kicks in, and it's, I guess, me, I love comedy.
yeah,
And when the comedy is strange and out there, I love it even more. And once that kicks in, once that Toto and Yuji little fight
Dynamic.
happens, dynamic, I'm sold 100% on it. And I told Danny, once I saw that episode, that dynamic, I'm like, the show's amazing. I love it. And that right there, it was even to
how
me
far into that is it?
second half.
Yeah,
Okay.
the second half.
So I gotta
I'm
get a
even-
couple of hours in
Yeah,
before.
and that comedy was so good. I thought, wow,
See,
this
but
is
I
funnier
think you'll
than
like
Demon
the
Slayer.
arc before. I think you'll like the.
I mean, there- I
Nanami
like-
arc.
Yeah, bro. You have.
Oh, yeah, I love
you
the
got
Nanami. I told you-
Batman.
I told you
He's like a
Nanami.
Batman
Batman.
character.
He's literally
Really?
Batman.
Really?
But he dresses like the Riddler.
Don't get me excited. Where is he? He's not in the movie yet.
He
You don't see much of him.
was.
He was.
Oh, he was?
But he
Which
was
one?
just he made like an
the
appearance
blonde guy,
With the glasses.
with the glasses, yeah,
The weird
and the
tie.
tie.
the one with the random flashes of light.
Ah, okay. But he's not like he doesn't come off like Batman in the first.
Oh, he's just
in
so
the
awesome,
movie, right?
bro.
But
No,
he's like
not
No,
there.
no, no.
Yeah, he's
He's
not
just
there
he's
yet.
there. He's there to appease like a.
Which I
like
was
an action scene.
disappointed in because I wanted an Anami like.
Nah, but
be-
I
Oh,
think-
they like included him just
Nah.
because
Yeah,
he's such a popular.
yeah.
But I
character.
think, well, I don't know. I didn't read chapter 0, but is he in chapter 0?
no, none of what you see.
That's what I thought. You
happened
just added that
over
in.
there.
I
It's
should
not.
love
They did
that
that
it to
makes a lot of
I should
sense.
love
That's why I,
but no,
when I watched it,
yeah.
I was like, I kind of led him astray because wait, you should have watched season 1. I didn't know they were gonna do that.
Because he's like he's the point in an arc in the
I
show.
don't have an argument for that, but
He's like the point in the show in an arc that's like she's like really good. Like
yeah.
the main character has to do like detective work
Mhm.
and have to go like on a case.
I did have a gripe with that about the film. I feel like if you make a film, it should be able to stand alone. Obviously, you're not going to appreciate it as much,
But I think that's a Western mentality. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's not when it happens.
and I understand
a
that.
Japanese
But I
movies.
live in the West, unfortunately, and also,
But you-
like I said,
No,
this is
yes, but
no. You're right, but
in
it's
order
also,
to, because you
but
have
it's also being
but that's one of
dubbed
the
and
reasons-
marketed to me,
Yeah.
to the Western
See,
audience.
but
you
then
know what I'm saying?
what you're saying that
Well,
no canon movie will work for you.
no, this is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you should be able to watch it, and it makes sense, even though it's not all gonna make sense. But it should be very clear that its arc is like singular. Especially if it's a prequel. So if it's a prequel, it should be able to make sense as the pilot. Like you said, it was the pilot. So for all intents and purposes, I shouldn't need anything after it to explain it because it's the first story.
If you read it, you don't.
Okay.
It's just
Exactly.
the
So
studio decided
whatever
to
they
stand on
did
it.
to it, that changed it to require to see the series, I feel a little misled because you called it 0, and it's supposed to be the first chapter. Like the Dragon Ball Z movies are like this. I go watch with my wife the Dragon Ball Z movie. She doesn't watch the show with me, She gets what's going on. I have to explain, yeah, they're married and they didn't get along before. Little things like that, right? But I feel like what you were saying, what is this about? I'm still trying to figure out what is this movie about? And I feel like the movie should still work. Like Serenity. I watched Serenity. I didn't like it, but the movie still makes sense. As a whole, you don't appreciate it unless you know the characters,
Yeah, but I don't know. Like with the Dragon Ball Z example, I feel like what is there to get?
Exactly.
I feel like the way that
Well, Cowboy Bebop, knocking on heaven's door. You don't need to watch the show to understand.
I
movie.
personally
That's
feel
a
that
BA movie, but it's like 10 times better if you've seen the show.
I personally feel like the anime now is like I said, it is more intention. I think there is, and I think what happens is that it kind of got, I guess,
It's
a little lost in translation
it's more for
with
the
adding
fans.
in to what they added and that isn't in the book, isn't
Yeah.
in the manga,
Yeah.
which I can agree. Like that is kind of misleading, I guess, for it to be like a pilot, but they have stuff that like obviously you kind of need to watch the show for.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with that on that aspect. But as far as certain movies, I don't think require a lot of backstory, a lot of like thinking to watch, to enjoy, to understand.
Right. Yeah. Oh, the other thing too, to counter the Western perspective argument, I also don't think this is the tradition of how these films are made. Typically, the OVAs.
It's coming. It's newer.
Yeah, it's
and
newer,
that's the thing,
exactly.
like,
So it's also not just Western because from a history of watching anime films, we're almost never canon, right? It's the My Hero style where you just watch it and you don't need it, right?
But that's part of the whole topic. It's modern anime.
Yeah, but
That's
it's
how they're doing
confusing
things
that
now.
all three models are in play because I have to be like, for My Hero, what do I do about the movies? Don't bother watching them. Watch them if you want, but they're not necessary. For Demon Slayer, what do I do? No, definitely watch the movie. Skip the episodes that cover it. For Jujutsu Kaisen, what do you do? No, you got to watch the movie, but it's the first chapter. You need to watch it after
But
the
I don't
second
think
chapter.
I don't think those movies are for for newcomers. Those movies are for the fans.
I feel like, why aren't you just making a part of the series? Movies are to send someone to the series.
Yeah, they should. I don't think so.
I don't
that's
think
not when it
so.
comes
Nah.
from
With
Because they
Mugen
work on
Train,
because now it's like, hey, you know what? We're making this for the fans, and that's why sometimes it's not
But
canon.
why-
'cause
It's
for the
just
fans.
But why
sometimes
even
the
make it?
medium.
Why do they exist as a movie?
Sometimes making it a movie is a lot
So is
cleaner.
it for the fans or is it for money? Which one is it?
both.
It's for both.
It can't be for both.
Yeah, it's for
Yeah,
both.
it
It
is.
can't be.
It is.
So
They know they're
You
gonna
sometimes
make
get money.
money and
You get money from your fans.
What's
Yeah.
the motivation? Like,
What?
You
Money?
see certain movies that are doing
Oh.
so completely, like they're doing so well, especially in the Western market, that they're like, bro, we can make a movie and people are gonna go flock to go see this
Yeah.
movie, and we're gonna make a lot of money.
and a lot of
Okay, so I
times
get what
that
you're
story is one arc that's easily contained into a movie rather than bogging down the sea. Which is why I hated what Mugen Train
I feel like
did.
that's more studio stuff, no?
Yeah, it's studio. That's the thing.
okay, yeah, okay. So I understand what you're saying. You're saying you're already making money off the show. You can make additional money
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
just chopping off a little story and selling
Exactly.
it to
Yeah,
you.
the
Mugen
And that's
Train-
another ticket.
Fans
Mugen
will-
Train
that
is
makes
number
sense.
1 in Japan, and now JJK Volume 0 is
Mu-
number 2 in Japan.
Okay, but you think they're both very good, right?
They're both great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did the My Hero movies do?
Horrible. They're not on that
Really?
list.
So why do
Canon
they keep
movies
making
are the
them?
way to. I don't know. They're making more money than the series
Because
but
that's the
it's-
thing. Why? I can just
Canon
wait for that
movies are the
movie.
way
I don't
to
need to
go.
go out of my way to watch a movie that doesn't matter. Like I'm not riding that high of
Okay.
My Hero Academia.
So let me ask you a question. Sorry, finish your thought.
I'm not riding my high of my Hero Academia like I was back then. That I was like, I need everything I can get. I need everything I can get.
Mhm.
No, especially with the show kind of trailing off towards the end. It's like I don't need to be rushing to watch this movie.
Right.
Like that just for me the biggest thing that detracts. It's not canon. What do I need this for?
What about a movie like Knocking on Heaven's Door, the Cowboy Bebop movie that is canon but is not essential for the series, but the series is not essential to understand the movie?
What's your question?
Modern anime.
What about that? What about
modern
a movie
I
that
think
stands alone?
That's
Wait,
a great
what's your-
studio choice, and they did
What-
that, and they had.
what
that
do you mean?
opportunity, but-
For me, that's the ideal. Like, create a chapter. Like, for example, let's say My Hero. They should be canon. They should be an adventure that they go on as a side quest that takes place at some point in the series, but that is not necessary to understand the series. That's what they should have done.
I just don't think
With
that
my-
would work for JJK because it's all so intertwined.
I get it. I understand that. Okay.
It's
But
I don't
does the
think you-
movie need to exist or?
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like
Well,
all that you saw is way important.
Remember, I'm just asking questions because
No,
I'm
that's fine.
speaking from a position of ignorance. I'm trying to navigate this. I'm basically this person listening to you guys tell me how to do this anime thing because like Link keeps harping on, it's modern anime and the legacy that I asked about last episode, I'm trying to figure out how it fits today, trying to re-enter a world that clearly has moved on, past me.
I think some of that's gonna be growing pains. I
Mhm.
feel like for you,
Yeah.
because we're like your history with anime is so rich and so deep and so strong that it can be kind of jarring, to have to be able to follow these new rules or like
These
ways to
patterns,
do
trends.
things.
No,
yeah.
it's more confusing now. Like I won't deny that at all.
It definitely is. And the thing is, like, I guess we're lucky now that it's like I said, they're so accessible and there's a bunch of guides and articles and things that like
Mhm.
can lay this stuff out for you,
Yeah.
that it's like, I think at that point it's just, you have to go out and look for them. But I don't think that's how it was back in the day.
Yeah,
It used to be a lot simpler.
Yeah. And I'm not opposed to it because it's not like
Simpler
I'm not
and
a
harder.
yeah. It's not that I'm not a studious person, but it's like, how much homework do I have to do
Yeah.
for recreation? How much homework do I have to do to have fun? You know?
That is true. You have to be somewhat intentional about it. You have to
Meanwhile,
be
it's like
actively
you do have
thinking
to. I
about
feel like I think you do have to be intentional because, like I'm always saying, there's hundreds of thousands of other titles vying for your attention, and it's like, to me, it's like I have to make it a point. Like, I want to watch anime, so I have to like set out like a block of time that it's
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna be watching necessarily the regular shows that I'm watching. I want to watch some anime at this point. I mean, that's how it's been for me recently, getting into it and having to catch up on all this stuff.
So what is coming? What are some of the things that I should be looking forward, that our listeners should be looking forward, and that you guys are looking forward to?
some
Attack
new
on
stuff
Titan,
on the
the final
Okay.
season, part 3.
And you've been looking forward for years.
Spy X Family.
What's,
Oh, yes.
What's that?
So basically, this spy. It's like a World War II era, but not in our timeline. It's like
Oh, like kids fighting in World War II?
That was
No
here you go. You
kids.
have here
Here's-
you actually
here's
have
your-
an adult.
Yes,
Here
here's an
you have
adult spy
Yes.
Yeah.
who adopts a child. The child is a side character.
Okay.
psychic.
He has to adopt a child for his mission, and then he
Okay.
starts a family for his mission. You know, he's
Wait, do you
balancing
not like?
Okay.
Life.
What was the name again?
Spy X Family. I think you'll enjoy
Spy-
it. I really do think you'll like. There's one
Spy
episode,
versus Family.
so now's the chance to
Hunter
watch it
Hunter,
real quick.
Spy Family.
Hunter x Hunter was another.
Is it
great
just
one.
Spy Family? The X
By
is
X-
silent.
No,
I don't even know anymore.
But what about Hunter? Hunter.
I don't know.
That's Hunter.
Don't ask.
That's
me.
Hunter.
They all just
that's
have
Hunter
X.
10
I don't know
Hunter.
why.
Oh, so is this Spy versus Family?
By 10 family.
Is this Spy collaboration?
It could be either.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, we have to find out to understand. Because what I learned this episode is that you have to actually watch the show in its entirety to understand the title.
Sometimes they don't even explain it in the shows.
Sometimes that
Or
title
books.
doesn't make sense at all.
The titles
Okay.
never matter.
And these recommendations are good because it's good to jump on when it starts or when the season is over because that's it. You can just watch that and you're already in on the ground floor, or you decide, this is not for me, and then you just drop it early instead of I have to think, do I want to watch these 5 years of a show? You know,
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are you gonna start getting into this?
I'll watch it if you guys tell me when it comes. I'll watch it.
Spy X Family?
Right, use Crunchyroll.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna have to watch a sub though.
Yeah.
No, I watch it dub, so it will never overlap.
Oh no.
What do you mean?
Not out dub.
Yeah.
No, I know. You'll have to tell me when it's available. But what Link is the gears and Link's mind right now is how I'm going to clog his watch list.
Yeah.
That's what he's worried
No,
about.
use other Crunchyroll.
What other Crunchyroll?
VRV's Crunchyroll.
No, we canceled VRV.
Oh, Tantan canceled.
No, yeah, they took.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about this. They took all the Crunchyroll stuff off VRV.
I
yeah.
think
Like
No,
they
I
has
think
a sampling.
anime streaming services is a whole conversation in itself.
Yeah,
They
that's
should
true.
just
As
give them
well as
profiles. That's all you
studios.
have to do.
Add profiles to Crunchyroll. Look, you bought Funimation and you've butchered VRV. Can you please just give us profiles? We're a family. We live together in the
Sony,
same home.
please.
Yeah.
Okay, we're right here together.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I live rent free. I just pay for Crunchyroll.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think my
but-
recommendation for what's to come is Ayoashi.
What's this?
That's, I mean, to me, that's kind of a personal preference because that's like, it's an anime about soccer.
Oh, I love animes like this that are like about a sport, like a basketball
Yeah.
or a car racing.
What about high school sports?
Those. That's where. See,
That's what you're
I'm
getting.
torn between two. Oh, is it a high school
It's,
basketball?
high
I
school.
mean soccer. High school soccer.
Yeah.
He's going
Yeah.
into high school.
Okay, I'll give it.
I'm sorry. This is just the way things are sometimes.
All the time.
An adult anime?
No, I mean an
An
anime
adult
for
anime, he said,
adults. An
Spy X
anime for
Family.
adults. Not an explicitly adult.
Well, if you want an anime that's a little bit, it's more for adult, more mature, the one I'm going to be recommending, the one I'm excited for, is Vinland Saga. Season 1's out. It's on,
That's
it's
true.
on-
You should watch that.
It's on Amazon Prime,
I've heard
but
good
season
things.
2 is coming out. And although the character is 16, the themes are darker, a lot revenge, complex families.
You know
death.
what? And it
You-
makes
you
sense in that time that he
made-
Nah,
would
you
be.
lost me at 16.
No.
I'm gonna
this-
recommend Cowboy Bebop. There's only one kid in it, but he's not even like the main character. So
So,
He
yeah,
shows up at the last episode.
So yeah, season 2 of Vinland Saga is coming up in the summer. So check it out. Season 1, it's amazing. It's great. If you like Vikings, then this is your show.
Okay, what's the animation style or the character design like?
It's Studio Wit, same people that did
Attack on Titan, right?
Attack
Well,
on Titan,
original.
the first season, original Attack on Titan,
They're currently doing Spy X Family.
by X Family,
Ranking
They-
of Kings.
Ranking of Kings. That's another one too. If you haven't watched Ranking of Kings, you gotta watch
That
I
is
saw the cover.
amazing.
I saw the cover of the book. Is that
Danny finally watched it.
Ranking
and
of
Papa
Kings.
Julian.
He was right. He was right. Ranking of Kings is amazing.
one season, right?
So,
Yes.
yes.
How many episodes?
22, 24.
That's all of them are like that, right?
Usually.
Yeah. Not Attack on Titan apparently.
Yeah, not as much Attack on Titan. All right. So there's a lot on the horizon. I think I saw the art style for Ranking of Kings. Is it that kind of?
Storybook
Reminiscent.
style.
Yeah, storybook. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, can you explain storybook style? Because I'm trying to find the right terms to describe things.
it's
Not too much detail in the background.
Yeah.
Characters have simple designs.
Yeah.
Like the colors are bright and like pastel.
all the characters are very simple. Not.
And what are some series that follow this style?
Off the top of my
Okay.
head, I can't think of any.
Okay,
Cowboy Bebop.
stop.
Sword Out
Misinformation.
Online.
Not it's
Sword
not,
Out
it's not
Online.
this style, but another show that
I
has simple
purposely
animation is
Spread
Odd Taxi.
misinformation.
Odd Taxi.
I would, you know
Also,
what? I
one-
would consider that
That's the-
storybook.
That's the
style,
Crazy
though.
Taxi anime.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely.
It's also it's an adult as well. 1 season, 10 episodes, 11 episodes.
Really,
Yeah.
because I love series that are like that.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think it's gonna get a season 2.
I think the Western model away from syndicated television to streaming, I love those short seasons more than the 24. I'd rather get 12 seasons and you like stagger them than give me 24. 24 is a big commitment.
I mean, the thing about it is like anime's 20 minutes per episode, so 24 is not that bad.
Yeah, it's
Versus like
technically
the
as long.
American like 50 minutes.
Yeah, that's true too. Sometimes you got to just shift your perspective.
Yeah.
And sometimes that is what all these conversations are about. Looking at the world not just through your own individual perspective, but opening up your mind in order to listen to stories told not just where you are, not just when you are, but from people who are different than you. They may live in another place. They may live in another time. They may not look like you. They may have a different age than you, right? And sometimes it's experience that we've already moved on from, and sometimes it's experiences that we've never even lived through. But anime, just like any other medium, is another opportunity to widen our perspective and explore stories in a medium that we may not be familiar with. And sometimes when we hear the stories of others or when we tell stories that teach us about ourselves and the world that we live in, not everything resonates, but there may be something there that you never imagined understanding or gravitating to, because who we are is a composite of where we've been and where we're going, the past and the legacy, and the future, whatever it may be. So as we continue to explore anime, life, and the motivating factors beyond, we invite you to join us in that search week to week. And while you're on your own, till next time, keep on searching.